Howdy Paladins, welcome back to Paladins War, and today we will take a look at Ruthless, review of the fastest game in the Wild West. Because Wargaming can be, respectively, Wargaming rules can be thick as books of hundreds of pages containing plethora, in vast majority of games useless rules, sometimes spread over several books which in theory player needs to have with him to play. I am looking at you, Warhammer. Similarly, rules can be a couple of dozen pages long, so that one doesn't have to spend a weekend going through the library before he can finally start playing. And there is this game, Ruthless, which has the official subtitle of fastest game in the Wild West. And they're probably right, because the game is not only fast to play, but also, well, fast to read and learn. It has 2 pages of rules. Yes, 2 pages. So the whole game is actually just two-side reference sheet. The game's author, Mark Fastoso, which also offers this for free on his Fireable Forward website, but it gets more exposure thanks to the YouTube channel of Little Wars TV, which produced a couple of scenarios and starter box for it. At the first glance, it may seem like it's really not enough and can possibly be enough to cover the rules, but on the other hand, how many would you need for a cowboy shootout, rule-wise speaking? Even the most famous gunfight, also, well, known to the star student film Tombstone, at the OK Crow lasted less than a minute, took place in about 15 square meters, and, well, less than 30 rounds were fired. Doesn't need 50 pages of dense text with tons of references, well, to be able to play it. And it's fair to say that the addition of the 2 pages rules, Ruthless has 3 extra pages on scenarios and character creation, including examples of various character traits that add depth to the gameplay. For example, there is Drunk, so he can aim properly again because he is little. Also, we have, for example, Loveman trait, so you can start a gunfight before someone else starts shooting at you, and so on and so on. Activation is done with poker cards, which is obviously stylish in the context of the game, where players draw 5 cards per hand at the start of the game, and whoever lays the strongest card at the start of the round gets activated. With some cards having special abilities, figures automatically pass morale, sevens get extra activation, and aces wake up stun figures. Each character has 2 actions in the basic, and they are classic wargaming actions like moving, shooting, melee, aiming, rolling for morale, and few specific actions like mounting, dismounting, and reloading weapons. And yes, you heard me right. Reloading is an interesting mechanic because each character counts ammo and the players must expect to run out of ammo at some point. No one prevents Cowboy from shooting like crazy, and the rules also allows for so-called fanning, you know, from the movies at the close range when the gunslinger empties the entire level right the enemy direction. But at that point, the shooter is just target before he reloads again, so it's really cool mechanics, which I think is now even in the Lardy's what a cowboy rule set, but in Ruthless it was first there. Well, let's go to the weapons, which are only divided into basic categories with generic stats due to lack of space in the rules. We have the Derringer, short and long revolver, bow, repeating, and percussion rifles, and just only double-barrel shotgun. And, well, that's it. It may not be enough for some connoisseur who wants more and more weapons profiles, but it's the toll of having the short rules on 2 pages. But if you are a person who is not looking at a Wild West simulation but wants to just play Western movie, it's enough, and for dimension of the game, it doesn't matter in the end what kind of revolver the cowboy has. For example, rules for Gunslinger Paradise have about something like 70 weapons profiles with their own rules, and you have, for example, 15 different stats and rules for Winchester rifles. But for average person, I think it's just the breakdown of weapon times is enough. After all, apart from German machine guns and American semi-automatic rifles, even most World War IIs and, for example, bolt action, which is probably the most popular World War II rule set out there, has such generic weapons, and most of the games from the 20th century has also this same address to rules that they just do the categories for weapons and not some each weapon has its own rules. As far for shooting and for rest of the shooting and the movement, because the games behave like virtually every other wargame. Movement is slowed by the obstacles or difficult terrain, while shooting is made worse by the distance or obstacle between the shooter and the target. If the target is hit, well, it's rolled on the table where he bought it, and depending on the severity, continues in the game with penalty or it's outright kaput. Which can be brutal at the times, but if you just get hit in the chest with shotgun in some saloon brawl, well, it's probably right that you don't get up again in the instant. Which is probably out there to say to the rules themselves. There is no point of describing them more when you can look at them yourself, and it won't take more time than watching this review. What else needs to be mentioned is the additional support in form of scenarios. Mark has released 2 official PDFs for Ruthless, offering a mini campaign based on the spaghetti westerns with Clint Eastwood and the Custer Dead and the Little Bighorn. Both PDFs are priced unlike the basic rules, and it's not little money. Each costs $25, which is quite a lot for 24 pages digital document. But if you want to try something for free, you can reach for the scenarios from previously mentioned Little Wars TV, who have released the Ultimate Tombstone starter set, which include everything you need to play: cowboy models, trees, buildings, game ads, tokens, and character cards, including their own mini-campaign focused on the Arabs and the famous shootout at OK Corral. In addition, they have this great Reading a Shotgun mini-campaign available for free on their site, which in 5 acts you can take role of bandits who hijack stakeout with money, which then they try to escape to Mexico and love man who understandably wants to stop them. And in addition to this mini campaign, there are also 2 free scripted one shootouts, one focusing on the historic shootout in Dodge City, and one again based on the Western starring Clint Eastwood, which together will last one person, several hours of fun. And what is great, as I said earlier, this all is for free. Plus, there should be paid PDF with several scenarios based on the historical shootouts coming somewhere soon, announced by Little Wars TV, but it was couple of months where they were last mentioned, so hopefully they are still releasing it. I will put links in the description for both the Firewall Forward website and these Little Wars TV resources, so you can just click and start playing. And what to say at the end? With 2 pages of rules, you won't find any more relaxed and easy to learn game. But even if the shortness looks bizarre at the first glance, I will admit it, it's enough to play, and what is the most important, have fun. And it feels really like playing a full-fledged game with thick rules. Ruthless is also suitable as, sort of starter war game for newcomers to the hobby, or any ideal game to show to your friends who might want to give a hobby a try, because after all, you just need 2 sheets of basically reference paper and that's it. You can start playing. So, Ruthless is great, give it a try, and this was Potence War. If you enjoyed it and find it informative or entertaining, don't forget to like, comment, or even subscribe so you don't miss the next one. So, bye guys! And you maybe noticed that I have this microphone in front of me, but it wasn't plugged, so if you are curious that the sound isn't really good, that's because of it. So sorry guys, but I'm not recording another 9 minutes of the review I just did. So just if you be curious why the sound is not really good and I have microphone in front of me, well, that's fine. Sorry guys.